All right, guys, welcome to the Get Creative podcast. I've got Nathaniel here hanging out with us, and he's going to talk to us about a seller finance deal. And I'm excited about hearing all about this. And I want you guys to wait until the end so you can see how to reach out to Nathaniel, how you guys can do business with him, what kind of value you can bring to him, and what kind of value he can bring to you. Nathaniel, welcome to the show. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing very well, Pace. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course, brother. So let's talk about the seller finance deal. Where did this deal come from?
It came from our outbound marketing. We had a VA at the time, which we've pivoted away from to become just buyers of creative deals nationwide. But we had a VA, and they reached out to this seller, and we worked it as cash, cash, cash. Go for terms last. So we worked it as a cash deal first. The seller had a number in their head, and I was pretty upfront with them, like, hey, this is not going to work. But he had the number in his head. So we put it under an option contract and tried to wholesale it that way and started fielding offers for the guy. And, they came back at about 50% of where he was at. And so it was at that point that it allowed us to pivot and say, hey, look, we have this other solution that gets you what you want. And it puts all the money in your pocket. You're just going to have to take some payments over time, and it ended up working out for both parties. I'm just going to continue going here if you don't mind.
Well, I got a bunch of questions.
Okay, yeah.
For the people that are paying attention, you should go for cash 2 or 3 times before you start pivoting to creative, unless.
Last year, the SubTo community did $5 billion in transactions, creative finance transactions, just in one Discord server. That's not including our Facebook group or other places that we connect as a community. You want to join this community? I promise you this interview that you're listening right now has changed one person's life, but it can change your life too. Come in, join the community, go to joinpacescommunity.com. I want to see you in there, and I want to see you in that Discord server exchanging deals with me.
You should go for cash 2 or 3 times before you start pivoting to creative, unless somebody has come to you and said, hey, this seller already is open to creative, right? Then you go straight for creative. But I love what Nathaniel's doing. Hire a VA, get the cold calls coming in. Obviously, Nathaniel and his partnership have pivoted to just being buyers, which is 90% of what I do. I wholesale maybe 10% of the time. I buy 90% of what I look at. I've just pivoted entirely. And it sounds like you guys have done the same thing, which is cool. But you go cash, 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 then creative.
Right.
What I then love about what you did is that you went for the option contract, which allows you to go to the seller and go, hey, we're definitely not a buyer for you at this price because you want too much freaking money. Do you mind if we go and field other offers for you and see what our other investor buddies think of this? Well, after a couple of weeks, couple of days, you come back to your seller and you say, hey, seller, our buddies, the highest offer is 50% of what you want. So this cash situation is just not going to work. And at that point, how did you guys pivot the conversation, Nathaniel, from cash to creative?
Basically just said, hey, we have these other options available that will put the money that you're looking for in your pocket. And then I really dug into, like, what do you need right now in order for this to be a deal for you and for you to be willing to take payments over time. And so we were able to put a little bit of money in his pocket right now to walk away, and then structured it over 15 years, no interest payments.
I have a buddy that's so interesting. I know that some people won't like this analogy, but I think about this analogy with sellers who really want this really high cash offer. I had a buddy in high school that had this crush on this girl that was like the most beautiful girl in school. She's prom queen. She's head of cheerleading. She's everything. Like, she's the whole package, right?
Mm.
And he would turn down unbelievable women, unbelievable people, because he just had his heart set on this unattainable goal. And man alive, what he would do is he would hate the guys that she would date. Like, he spent all his time and energy going after this one goal and this one objective, basically passing other opportunities up that were actually probably a better fit for him, right? They get this number in their mind. They spend all their time and energy, but it's not until they get rejected enough times that they come to realization. So it was senior year, prom. My buddy finally decides, I'm going to go ask a different girl to go to prom because it's obvious that this girl has rejected me enough time. He goes and asks this girl. Dude, they've been married now for 22 years. It was like the best thing for him was to finally just get rejected enough times to finally go to where he should have been. And actually, what was a better fit for him at the time, and obviously for his whole life, 22 years, 6 kids. Okay.
Wow.
Great pivot. The
Yeah.
rejection was the greatest thing for him. So,
Yes.
same thing with this seller and you is that you let the market reject this seller and kind of beat this seller's up a little bit, even though in the beginning you're like, your number's too high, dude. But if I just tell you that and walk away, then I don't have any opportunity. So I'm going to let these other offers reject you, reject you, reject you, kind of soften you, change your viewpoint, pivot to creative. Let's do seller finance. What do you need right now? And
Yep.
so you guys got this house under contract with seller finance. What was the seller's main motivation? Are they moving? Were they looking for a job relocation?
He didn't want to be a landlord anymore, essentially. And he
Mm.
had some credit card, other debts that he wanted to pay off. And so we
Okay,
kind of
so that
dug
was
into that.
where you're probably down. Your down payment took care of that.
Exactly. And it was a little high as far as percentage goes, but the numbers and the cash on cash worked for us. So we didn't mind parking money into it.
I love it. You know, the tough thing about creative finance is that everybody wants to do a zero down, 0% interest deal because that's what we talk about on social media, right? Like
Hmm.
showing what's possible. But the reality is, if I went out and I did the burr strategy right now, I'm putting 35% down. I'm sucking all this money up into a 7 to 9% interest rate. How much money did you guys put down percentage wise versus your interest rate? I imagine it's better than doing the burr
It
strategy,
was,
right?
yeah, I mean, it was 22%. If,
Okay.
yeah.
22% is 13% better than the burr strategy. What's
Right.
your
Yeah.
interest
Yeah.
on the seller finance deal?
It's 0%.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Okay, I
It
thought
worked
you were
out
going to.
perfectly to like 15 years, even payments, at 0%. So we just
Oh,
structured it
brother,
that way. Yeah.
great deal. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I love it. It just when you look at the 0% principal only deals, dude, I'd put 30% down on those bad boys all day long.
Right.
So what are you guys doing with it?
We wrapped it. We sold it on a bond for title in South Carolina. That's what we do here, bond for title. So we're still technically on title with it, but as far as we're concerned, the new buyer is the homeowner. Um, Not to their knowledge, apparently. They still coming to me like with tenant questions all the time. Like, bro, you're the owner of the house. Like, it's your house, dude. But yeah, it's been a lot. We've learned so much from this one deal. Like, I feel like I have a lifetime's worth of knowledge just from one deal. We did a lot of things wrong. Um, you know,
Like what?
just we still don't have servicing on it, unfortunately, because we didn't do it during closing. Just, it was our first creative deal we did. It's been over a year now, and um, the seller is not going to play ball after. He's like, I'm getting my money. What am I going to? What do I care about you for?
Like, yeah,
Like,
leave me alone.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we're just dealing with it. Lessons learned that as we move
I mean, at the
forward.
end of the day, if you're going to keep the deal, it doesn't really matter. But like, if you were going to sell the note, then it becomes a problem, right?
Right.
Your new note buyer is going to be like, wait, it's not service, it's not packaged properly, stuff like that. But like, I'm not selling my notes. I keep all my notes. And I imagine you guys are just going to keep
Yeah.
this bad boy because you wrapped it to your end buyer
Hmm.
on bond for title. What rate did you give them?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think it's 8.5. It might be 9.
Oh, oh,
Yeah, so it was a good one.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
dude. So freaking good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Do you know how much you guys are cash flowing on it?
It's $900 a month right now. At the year 3 mark, it'll go down to $800 a month because we did like an extra $100 as they weren't able to bring a full down payment in, so we also created a 12% note on the down payment as a side thing.
Wow,
Yeah.
bro. Wow, dude. This is so good. Oh my gosh, I love it. You know what we should do is we should have you do a live Q&A and break this deal down for like 30 minutes to the
I'd love to.
community and let everybody
Yeah.
know. This is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys have obviously made a pivot since then. You know, this was a little over a year ago.
Mhm.
What does your business look like now going into 2024?
We're putting some big pieces in place. We're hiring an operations manager right now, and I'm in the process of raising capital. Something I wish I had listened to you 2 years ago when I joined SubTo. But now's better than a year from now. So we're raising capital right now. We're going on a buying spree. We're going to start buying creative deals nationwide. So Yeah, if you're wholesaling creative deals, we'd love to be your number one buyer.
How can people reach out to you and do deals with you?
The best place is probably my website right now. It's my name, NathanielHovsepian.com. It's a work in progress, but we have a place where you can jump on a calendar. So if you're a lender, um, jump on my calendar. Let's talk and let me learn about your business and what works for you so I can kind of bring deals that are going to work for you. And, I want to kind of give back like you've been able to. You've created this amazing community. So if you're new, if you're just getting started and you have questions, like fill out, there's a form on the website there, fill it out. Let's get in touch. Let me see how I can, bring value to you and help you kind of navigate the choppy waters getting started out. I've learned a lot in my experience so far, and then if you're a wholesaler that's creative deals, please send them our way. We're looking to buy as many as we can get our hands on right now.
I love it, brother. This is freaking amazing. I'm so impressed. I love it. And I love that you guys have made the pivot. It's tough. Wholesaling is a lot of fun. And of course, for the rest of your life, you'll still do wholesale deals.
Yeah.
It's one of those tools that you keep in your bag. But you guys get to a point where this $800 deal, like, what if we had 40 of these? What if we had 500 of these deals?
Yeah.
And we actually had cash flow coming in where one day we wake up and go, we don't have to work today. And it sounds like that's really where you're trying to go.
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, we're already there. Like, I'm very blessed to have put myself in a position where at 10:30 in the morning I can come on this podcast and talk with an amazing person like you. But yeah, we still have really lofty goals we're trying to hit this year, and we're gonna get them. We're gonna get there.
I love it, man. I love it. Everybody, he gave you his information. We'll also put it down in the show notes so you guys can go and get it. What an awesome little treat to hearing about a 0% interest deal, selling it out on 8.5 to 9% interest. It's clean cash flow, 800, $900 a month because the tenant is actually the owner.
Yep.
I love the structure and I love the bond for title. I love that. I tell everybody you should be selling all your wraps on an executory contract. Don't sell them on seller finance because then you have to foreclose and it's a whole mess. You guys did it the right way. And the only way to learn is to get kicked in the teeth and do it the wrong way a dozen times. So super impressed by you, brother. And I'll have Taya reach out so we can have you do a one-on-one inside the community so people can do a little bit of Q&A and give you even a little bit more shine.
I love it, man.